Archangel Michael says, they're planning your fall, open this alone. Archangel Michael says, this is not for all eyes. They are whispering behind curtains that once sheltered your name. They're building a table of knives, not bread. You felt it, the pull in your chest when silence walks into a room. They pause when you arrive, pretending nothing burns. But the smoke coils through your soul anyway. Something ancient has been stirred. You've walked past shadows that used to flinch. Now they lean in, listening. This message found you because heaven has been watching. They will call it paranoia. It is not. You trusted them with your unspoken. They bartered it in a back room lit by trembling candles. One of them brought your name folded in an envelope. The hourglass was turned without your consent. And now the last grains are screaming. 2 hours left before the pact is sealed. There's a meeting being arranged. Not for truth. For your quiet erasure. They dress it in bureaucracy. But beneath their suits, snakes twitch. They've been instructed to smile while they poison. The one who hugged you last week will sit closest to the lie. Their eyes will not blink. They've rehearsed. You've been chosen for divine disruption. That's why the war intensifies. That's why betrayal stings sharper this time. They thought they erased the evidence. But your soul remembered. The ashes still glow beneath their carpet of denial. You were marked as a threat when you chose truth. Even in silence, you were loud. They fear the clarity in your eyes. They've assigned someone to keep tabs. This one wears kindness like a costume. But underneath, they report in secret channels. The door creaks in the hallway of your past. Something you buried is waking up. Not to haunt, but to lead. You are not paranoid. You are awakening. And heaven is loud now. The whispers have faces. Each one crafted a blade from your kindness. Each one practiced smiling while they drew maps to your ruin. You must not warn them. They are watching for a signal of fear. Give them none. Archangel Michael says, stay silent, but alert. They believe your silence is ignorance. Use that. A file has your name on it. Stamped and sent. But the divine intercepted. What was meant to bind you has been broken. But they will not know that yet. Let them think the plan continues. You are being moved, not removed. You are being shifted to a higher plane of war. Because peace cannot bloom here anymore. The people you fed are licking their lips. They think you are weak now. They mistake heartbreak for helplessness. You are to act normal. But pack your spirit in armor. They must not suspect that you've seen the truth. The energy in your room changes when you pray now. Not soft. Blazing. Heaven has stationed warriors around your dreams. The nightmares were distractions. Now the visions come clear. You will be accused soon. Of things crafted in silence. Let them speak. Their words will echo back to them in divine screams. Each falsehood will cost them a piece of what they love. Justice, now awakened, is surgical. One of them has already faltered. They spoke your name and choked on their breath. That was the first sign. A window broke last night for no reason. You weren't imagining it. It cracked under the pressure of truth. There is a list you were added to. Not of punishment. Of elevation. You were mistaken as fragile. But you've been fire since birth. Controlled. Contained. But fire. You will feel pulled to reach out. Don't. Let the silence expose them. Your absence will haunt more than confrontation. They'll unravel waiting for a reaction. That is part of the justice. One of them cried after meeting with you. Not guilt. Fear. They saw the glow behind your eyes. The one that doesn't belong to this world. The one heaven lit when they failed to crush you. You are being rewritten in heaven's archives. Not a victim. A warrior cloaked in ashes. You are to move now with sacred stillness. Let no one know the fire you hold. Not yet. Their surveillance is failing. They thought you'd fold by now. But your silence roars in places they can't reach. Someone tried to mirror your essence. They practiced your phrases. But they lacked your divine fingerprints. You have 120 minutes. To sit with this. To shed the skin of former trust. You were never one of them. You were among them. But born from thunder. The clock ticks differently now. Not time, but divine countdown. To reversal. Heaven has assigned watchers. They are not seen. But you felt the shift in air. One stood by your door last night. They held a blade of light. It hummed your name in warning. Do not look for validation. It has been stripped from this world. What remains is sacred knowing. Archangel Michael says, you've been spared to witness. To confront. To rise in silence. Your name will be spoken with fear. Not from vengeance. From reverence. They plotted your fall while laughing. But laughter cracks under pressure. And the pressure has begun. A storm moves through their circle now. The same circle that pushed you out. It spins with your name at the center. You are not to retaliate. You are to become. Become everything they feared. The files will disappear. Not by accident. By command. The voices accusing you will be silenced by their own echoes. They will forget what truth felt like. You will remember what glory tastes like. This message came late because the interference was strong. Spiritual static tried to block it. But light found its way. You are not a casualty. You are the prophecy fulfilled. The unexpected storm. You were removed from their table. Not because you were unworthy. Because you were too real for performance. They built a story around you. But the pages are catching fire. One by one, the ink screams. The silence of heaven was never absence. It was preparation. Now it speaks. Your feet will find holy ground soon. You will recognize it by the peace. It will smell like something lost long ago. They will say you changed. Let them. They never knew the full shape of you anyway. You are not to return. Not to the room where they stripped you. Not to the seat you outgrew. Heaven has tailored a new space. Not crowded. Sacred. This is your warning. Your protection. Your map out. You have 2 hours. To awaken. To armor. To become flame. The betrayal was necessary. It was the knife that carved open your next door. Let the wound stay open long enough to hear it speak. You will lose more. Let it fall. Nothing sacred will be taken. When the moment comes, speak no defense. Just walk. The wind will part for you. Your hands are not empty. They hold keys, not chains. You were misread by eyes not meant to see you. They will gather again. But this time, your name will burn their tongues. Because heaven etched it into fire. And now, the revelation, you were never meant to stay. This was not your home. You were sent to shake the soil before the quake. You are not the exiled. You are the awakening. The answer to a prayer spoken in thunder centuries ago. The blessing, every shadow sent to curse you now bows. Every lie collapses into light. You walk forward cloaked in divine fire, unshaken, unafraid, untouched. Archangel Michael says, this was never supposed to reach you. It was intercepted, delayed, buried under silence. But heaven cracked open the vault. They met last night beneath flickering lights. Your name echoed in a room where no love remained. Their voices were soaked in quiet venom. You've sensed it in the tremble of your spirit. The shift in how they greet you. Something sacred has been tampered with. A door creaked open in a forgotten hallway. Behind it, betrayal wrote itself in red ink. You were marked without your knowing. You trusted them with pieces of your soul. They broke them into offerings for their own survival. None of them hesitated. They've crafted a story. One where you're the villain they need. A false threat to cover their own corruption. The walls have eyes now. And some wear faces you once kissed with trust. They smile, but their teeth are sharp. A secret meeting was called. No calendar invite, no trace. But your name is circled in the center. They plan to remove you quietly. To call it a shift, a reorganization. But it is exile dressed in civility. You were never meant to hear this. But a divine interference shattered their veil. The truth staggered toward you like a bleeding soldier. Archangel Michael says, time is not a luxury now. You have 2 hours. Use them wisely, every breath counts. Someone brought your private words to that room. They printed them, passed them hand to hand. Fingers trembling not from guilt, but glee. The betrayal didn't come from the shadows. It came from the smile beside you. From the hand that held yours when the storm first came. You thought you were rebuilding. But they were watching. Waiting for the next crack. The same ones who praised your strength now twist it into arrogance. They dress your grace in distortion. You were chosen for something divine. And that calling has disrupted their comfort. Your light exposed their rot. They called you unpredictable. They meant uncontrollable. You wouldn't bow, so they circled. A paper was signed. Not legally, spiritually. A pact to unseat you from your place. You are not paranoid. You are perceiving what spirit screams. They want you gone before your power fully blooms. One of them still hesitates. Not from love, but fear. They've seen what follows those who curse the anointed. The room where they meet smells of iron. Something died in there long before the plot began. Now they sit in its silence. You will be invited soon to a conversation. But it will be a reckoning masked in civility. Your records are being combed through. Every word, every pause, every kindness. All twisted like roots choking a flower. You must not panic. They are watching for a reaction. Give them only stillness and steel. The betrayal is not the threat. The ignorance of your divine protection is. They don't know what stirs when you're cornered. They thought you were fragile. But you are fire sealed in flesh. Now the seal breaks. You were never meant to stay silent. But this moment calls for sacred restraint. Let them choke on the quiet. Your presence haunts them now. Because it reminds them of what they lost. Integrity. Purpose. Spirit. They didn't just try to remove you. They tried to erase your influence. But the seeds you planted grew roots too deep. They will feel it soon. The collapse of their fragile structure. One lie at a time. Ashes fell from an old photo frame. A sign. The past you protected is crumbling. Let it fall. What you're building cannot be shared with traitors. This foundation is only for truth. A name they invoke to replace you? It trembles in its sleep. Because even the substitute feels the storm. The ones plotting were once plotted against. They think this act redeems their wounds. But vengeance wears a hollow crown. Someone has already lost something precious. They haven't realized it yet. But the unraveling began when they touched your name with deceit. A presence stands at your window. It carries no weapon, only justice. It watches with flaming eyes. This is the reckoning your spirit has been feeling. Your skin shivers not from cold, but from prophecy manifesting. The divine never left you. It stood silent behind your tears. Now it roars. They underestimated the cost of betrayal. Thought heaven would stay quiet. But justice is wide awake now. You are not to confront. You are to observe. Let their destruction perform itself. The document they prepared is cursed. Each line bound in unspoken consequence. What they send out will return. This is not about a job. Not about status. This is spiritual war. You will be moved, not removed. Lifted, not lost. Exalted, not erased. They will say they're surprised. They will call you dramatic. but they are just echoing their fear. Archangel Michael says, you were born for disruption. To shatter systems. To expose thrones built on rot. The light around you is pulsing now. Not soft. Unforgiving. The wind will change direction soon. And they will taste what they served. Cold. Unkind. Inescapable. You will walk through fire. But not alone. Divinity flanks both sides. They are gathering as you read this. Their words dripping with pretense. But every syllable seals their fate. Do not fear what's coming. You summoned it with your endurance. It arrives to cleanse. Time bends for those chosen. 2 hours are enough. More than enough for the divine to act. The voices in that room are shaking now. Not from exposure. From the echo of what they can no longer silence. They thought you wouldn't know. But heaven knows. And heaven always reveals. Someone tried to burn your name. But fire remembers its master. It spared you. It marked them. You were covered while you slept. Visited in dreams by ancestors unnamed. They braided courage into your breath. You woke up with a tremble. Not weakness. Anointing. They will try again. They always do. But it will cost them more than they can pay. You are not here to be polite. You are here to be precise. To tear the veil. The walls are already talking. Their secrets seeping into daylight. No one can stop what has begun. You are the prophecy they feared would come true. That a soul like yours would rise. Unbending. Untouched. Unafraid. This storm is not punishment. It is positioning. It is placement by divine hands. The betrayal was permitted. So your path could be purified. So your throne could be forged. You are being elevated. But elevation feels like exile at first. Because altitude always costs oxygen. Let them believe they won. Their celebration is the prelude to collapse. And it's already begun. They will weep in silence. When what they tried to steal turns to dust. When your name glows in places they'll never reach. You are not returning to who you were. That version of you died with their lies. This version walks with thunder. Let them talk. Their words are birds without wings. You soar elsewhere now. The time is near. The veil lifts in minutes. And with it, everything shifts. Now, the revelation, you were never the target. You were the test, and they failed. They tried to silence a storm. But the storm was never yours. It was sent to carry you higher. This meeting they hold is not about you. It is about the fear you placed in their mirrors. They saw their weakness beside your grace. They cannot touch what has been sealed. Heaven owns the rights to your next chapter. And it is already written in gold. And the blessing, every weapon drawn will melt in holy fire. Every lie spoken will dissolve in divine wind. You rise now, untouched, unstoppable, surrounded by the flame of heaven itself. Archangel Michael says, you've been marked, and not by accident. This message slipped through the cracks they tried to seal. Because heaven refuses to stay silent. There is movement behind your back. A meeting cloaked in shadows and false smiles. Your name sits in the center, surrounded by betrayal. They are plotting in rooms where your picture still hangs. But now it's tilted, smeared with fingerprints of deceit. Every glance they give you is laced with agenda. Your steps have shaken quiet systems. They feared your presence from the beginning. But now they're moving to silence it completely. Someone laughed while suggesting your removal. Not in cruelty, but in fear. Because your spirit refuses to die quietly. They wrote your name in ink meant to vanish. But the paper refused. It burned instead. You are being watched by eyes you once trusted. Their silence is no longer passive. It is tactical. They are rearranging their masks. Practicing their words. Hoping to convince others that you no longer belong. Do not take their kindness at face value. There is poison hidden in their praise. Their compliments are camouflage. Ashes have begun to fall from the photo frame on your wall. A warning from the unseen. Something is ending. There is a plan unfolding, and it does not favor you. They are rewriting the story without your voice. But your presence won't be erased so easily. You were meant to awaken now. Not with panic, but with clarity. Because this was always coming. You've walked too upright in rooms that demand bending. That is your crime in their eyes. Too unyielding. Too whole. You were seen as a disruption, not a blessing. Not because you were wrong. But because your truth made them uncomfortable. The whispers have grown louder. Carried through hallways and unguarded glances. They believe you're unaware. But your spirit has been screaming. Each breath you take feels like borrowed time. You're not imagining it. Their strategy is not direct confrontation. It's erosion. A quiet dismantling of your place. You'll notice strange pauses in conversation. Unspoken meanings swimming beneath their words. This is how the plotting begins. They want you confused. Doubting your worth. Isolated in your rising awareness. Someone you confided in passed your words along. They twisted them just enough. Enough to plant suspicion where there was once trust. You've been placed under review in secret. Not officially, but spiritually. They are weighing your presence like a burden. But what they forget is this: your spirit has been tempered in deeper fires. This is not your breaking, it is your unveiling. The light around you has started to pulse. Soft at first. Now blinding. Even they can feel it. The way you no longer shrink. The way your silence thunders. They are calling for your removal because they see what's coming. Your rise. Your revelation. You hold power they cannot replicate. Authenticity forged in private pain. Grace shaped by storms. They mistook your stillness for surrender. But you were listening. Now you move with certainty. You will be tested. Not in ways you expect. But in moments when silence would be easier than truth. This removal isn't about you. It's about what moves through you. They fear the divine that walks beside you. Archangel Michael says, your name was written in heaven before it was spoken in rooms of betrayal. You are not at risk. You are the risk. The attempts to isolate you will intensify. Messages left unread. Plans you're excluded from. Your energy will be mimicked. They will try to replace your fire with false light. But it will flicker, then die. They've mistaken their temporary access as ownership. But your destiny is not tied to approval. It is sealed by alignment. They will hold a meeting without your name on the invite. But every topic will circle you. They won't say it, but you'll feel it. Their smiles will stretch a little too wide. Their words will land just off-center. This is the stage where performance begins. Do not correct them. Do not plead. Let their assumptions build their own noose. What they remove you from now will become their greatest loss. You will not have to lift a finger. Time will do the unraveling. Justice walks slower than vengeance. But it never misses a target. They are pushing you out so you won't be present to witness their collapse. But heaven will give you a front row seat. Their whispers carry weight for now. But truth is heavier. It will drop, suddenly and loud. Your silence will confuse them. They expect panic. Instead, you offer stillness sharpened like a blade. Every betrayal writes your name clearer in divine ink. Every plot pushes you closer to alignment. You are being positioned, not punished. They forgot something vital. You are rooted in something deeper. No storm they stir can pull you out. The foundation you stand on is sacred. Built in nights of tears and hands that never left you. It will not crack beneath lies. They will turn others against you. Let them. Their alliances are as fragile as their intentions. You are not meant to fight this. You are meant to rise above it. Let them bury what they don't understand. But don't ignore this. Because ignorance invites chaos. And this is not a time for blindness. Your awareness is your sword. Your restraint, your shield. Let the divine handle the rest. The one who led the charge against you has already felt the shift. Their dreams are restless. Their peace has vanished. Something is haunting them now. Not from you. But from the justice that follows the innocent. There is still one among them who is unsure. That hesitation will become your echo. Not all betrayals last. Some break under the weight of guilt. Some transform into unlikely confessions. The energy around you is changing. You feel it when you enter the room. The air stiffens. The tension breathes. Your voice is no longer required to be heard. Your presence alone speaks in volumes. Volumes that will echo after you're gone. You are not being cast out. You are being set apart. There is a difference. Let them proceed. Let them believe. But you already know what they don't. They think you'll beg. They think you'll collapse. They don't know what's inside you. You've been prepared for this. Every closed door was training. Every silence, a sharpening. What you lose now will be returned tenfold. Not from man, but from source. There is no need to explain. Your energy can no longer be diluted for their comfort. You were never meant to fit. They didn't remove you. They revealed themselves. And heaven took note. Now, the divine revelation, you are not the target. You are the trigger. Your awakening has disrupted the illusion. They were never in control. They only thought they were. Now heaven reclaims what they tried to steal. You were born to unseat shadows. To disrupt false altars. To light fires beneath stagnant systems. You've been marked, yes, not for exile, but for expansion. What they close will open sevenfold in higher places. The meeting they hold now is being watched from above. Every word weighed. Every lie recorded. And now, the blessing, may every hand lifted against you be stilled by light. May every room you're removed from make space for your expansion. And may your name rise, untouched, engraved in glory no man can erase.